I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. Sometimes I feel like all is lost, but I know it's not true. I wanna put up all my walls cause I'm not in the mood, but then I cut myself off from the rest of the room. I know that time can heal it all if you're patient and soon it can all be worth it, all the searching. Pain is never really permanent, but damn it hurts, man. I could feel all of the turbulence and it's concerning. I've been searching for a purpose, I hope it's worth it. This society is really trying me. Ain't no hide and seek, I hide to be far from anxiety. I need my space, I need my privacy. I need some silence, please, you're all too loud. You don't speak quietly, opinions violently thrown across every surface. It makes me nervous, is the world honestly burning? That's all I'm learning. Hope that we can make a turn and start reversing all our minds and put the work in. We got some work, man. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. Gotta get through this, life is a nuisance, tie up some loose ends. I try to be human, find a solution, my evolution. A place like this, it didn't exist, we made it like this. So you can go pick the bad or the good, got a glass halfway. I know, it's easier to hide than just to lay low. Not everyone in life has got a halo. I'm standing in the red inside a payphone. Just wanna break, no, I'm not gonna give in. Take a last shot, Michael J. Win. No, I'm not a robot, I'm in my own skin. Never get lost when thoughts pull you in. I miss the old you, we died with a purpose. All the energy around me felt nervous, scared I would pop off fast to the surface. Had to cut it off before you made me worthless. Torn apart, I've been torn and scarred. I had a given art, but now I'm thinking smart. I'm keeping up my guard, I'm hiding every card. A royal flush of left, you never know what's hard. With a back to the mat, gonna see where I'm at. I'ma fight like I'm mad, I'ma be something that they can never be me. Nice try, but they'll see I achieve everything while they stay salty. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. Who I am, I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again.
You ain't see me activated. You better hope that you never see me agitated. I think about my actions, plan them out, evaluated. That's how I end up on the top, man, I'm calculated. My mind's a weapon, my body is the engine. I'm never second guessing, I just do what I was destined. Cause I feel I got the blessing, persistence and obsession. That's how you keep progressing, I already learned that lesson, yeah.
I'm changing who I am, I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. You can't stop what's moving, you can't stop what's moving. I'm changing my life, and I won't look back ever again.
No fear, see clear, you deserve to be great. I know it feels like things get in your way. Push through those walls and the others will fall. Sit up, stand tall, you can get long. And I feel like the pain in the past, it needs to stay in the past. You gotta take off the cast. I wanna feel like I'm a new person. I wanna have clear vision and purpose. And I feel like the pain shouldn't last. If you can move on and past the things that make you feel bad, and you could change in your brain, I'm certain. I've done it before and man, I'm not perfect. I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. You can't stop what's moving. You can't stop what's moving. I'm changing my life, and I won't look back ever again. Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna sing my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather leave than be led. What is going on, fam? Welcome back to another episode, and here on the channel we're giving you some of the most important market news as well as technical analysis that you can actually use. And man, what a weekend, what a start to the Monday. Bitcoin price is pumping. I know you guys are happy about that. And I mean, we have been looking about, you know, some of the ups, the downs, where can we go, the support, the resistance, and here we are. It's not such a bad place to be. Bitcoin is looking all right, but there's some important channels we do have to look at in terms of trends, where price action could be headed. We are starting to hit those right now, so I want to give you guys those tools just so you have in your back pocket as you're going through some of these trades. And yeah, there's a lot to talk about on the charts today. News, not so much. We'll just roll through that. TA is going to be the focus for the day, but hey, let's give you guys the shout outs here in the chat because you're the reason we do this. So much love to you guys. Let me go ahead and turn off this music, driving me nuts. All right, so here we go. My man Rashad, what's up to you, man? Good to see you in here. Alexandra G, the best mod in the biz. You know it. Mike Play, my dude, hootie hoo. What's up to you? Harp, what is up, brother? How are you? Good to see you in the chat as well. Al Jr., how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Donato Cabrera, what's up, man? Ayo, how you doing? And Darshan Baba, how you doing, brother? Good to see you in the chat. And Kelly, what's up? What is up? How you doing? I don't know that I've seen you in my show yet, so good to see you here. Exciting, but just want to say what's up to everybody. Let's go ahead and get into a little bit of the market update so we can get into the fun part of the show. Let's go.
All right, total market cap is at 2.88 trillion. That is up 3.22%. Looking good there. 24-hour trading volume 79.96 billion. That is an increase of 74.29%. That is not surprising to see on a Monday. You do see that quite a bit. Bitcoin dominance, though, still trending to the upside. That is at 60.74%. That is up 0.14%. Fear and Greed Index is currently sitting at 31. So that is starting to trend up. All right. So we've moved out of that extreme fear. Remember, we are all the way down to, I think it was like 10, 15, somewhere in that area. It was super, super low. And there was a lot of people that utilize that, right? They just buy when the market is scared. You know, people are getting shook out. And if you would have, it probably would be looking pretty good right now. Just based on that metric alone. So there is utility there for it. Bitcoin price currently sitting at 88,376. Ethereum is at 2,088. So it is finally broken back over that 2,000 mark. That has been quite a line in the sand for Ethereum. XRP, $2.47. BNB, $631. Solana at 143. Let's go. You know, I've been talking about that 121 area. My Solana trades are looking quite good right now. Dogecoin at 18 cents, Cardano at 73 cents. Again, we were looking at Cardano at about 69 cents as a nice little area. And Tron rounding out the top 10 at 22 cents. Crypto bubbles, let's go over there, see what's popping. Fartcoin to the moon, 25%. PI is down 6.7%, so that's a big mover in the wrong direction. Cake still pulling back. What else we got? Render finally making a move at 15.8%, if only I could talk. And then I think this is WorldCoin. Yeah, it is. WorldCoin is at 11.7, so looking good there. ADA Ace is probably happy. And then Sonic, which was previously Phantom, again, moving in the right direction. Very interested to see. You know what? I'm going to have to read up on that. So ever since I've seen them make that move from Phantom, it looks like it's been a good thing. I'll have to read up a little bit more. I know a lot of people did like Phantom back in the day. AVAX is up 10.5%. You guys know I took a long position on AVAX as well. That is looking very, very good. So, I mean, it's green. It's green out there. It's looking pretty good. Most things are moving in the right direction. Trump is not moving in the right direction at 1.6%, but everything else pretty good. I mean, you're talking not just a baseline of 4 to 5. A lot of things are up over 5 to 6. So, you know, that's good news. Good news. All right. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get over to our first segment. That is going to be the Daily DGen, and I have not even put the poll up, so you guys are going to have to vote quick. Let's go ahead and get that going here. Man, I'm just forgetting. I'm losing my mind. All right, so let's go long or short, and poll is coming down right now. So get those votes in. Let me know if you want to go long or short. I have an idea. Just knowing you crazy people, you're always bullish. It's probably going to be long. So over to Blowfin. All right. That is the exchange that we use here. And I will be having some links for you guys. Actually, I do have a link. I'm going to have to drop that in the description after the show for you guys to use. But I do now have a deal with Blowfin. That is for me. And I'll share that with you guys. I'll put it in the description if you want to trade alongside me. It's just really, honestly, it's a little way to help the show out, right? You guys will be trading anyway. So that is it. That's my pitch for that. I'm not going to show that too hard. So let's go ahead and look at what's moving right now. Render is a big mover. Pingu, AVAX. We have not done a daily DGen on AVAX, but I would hate to start it off with a loss there. What about PayPay? We haven't played PayPay too much. Jasmy's looking like it's moving. Let's do Jasmy. Let's see. Well, let's see. Oof. Yeah, getting up to a little bit of resistance there. It is driving up. Let's see what you guys are right now. You are 62% long. Got 8 votes. Let's see here. LBC, what's up, man? Good to see you in the chat, brother. Good to see you. Let's go. Who else we got in here? Anyone else rolling here late? My man, Army Piper. What up, fam? How you doing? So it looks like you guys are 62% long right now. We do have Jasmy up. I'm going to start the process. Get those votes in. Let's see what you got. And we are put a market. Here we go. And 62% strong. All right, we're doing it. 50x, no thank you. Wow, it's only letting me go 10x. Interesting. Wonder why that is, because there's a lot of poop coins that let you do more leverage than 10x. I'm not sure why that is, but there you go. It's in. Let's get this. Oh, how you doing? Let's short this wave. What would you say? Hey man, so just so you guys know, if you're newer, this segment here when I do the daily degen is just that. Like we don't do a lot of TA on it. We just kind of let you guys vote as the audience whether you guys are feeling like going long or short. Honestly, it works out quite a bit. Very, very interesting. But that being said, we just really don't do any TA. It's just for fun. It's very low capital. I'll just throw, a couple bucks at it and we just let it ride for the show. See what happens, man. It's just fun to go back and look at it and be like, okay, how did that play out with just no TA? So it's just something that I do here, but we will get to the actual TA. Don't you worry about that. And let's go ahead and look at the economic calendar. All right. So durable goods month over month, that is going to be Wednesday, March 26th. All right, so be looking for that. You know where to go to get your alpha. That is going to be on Piper Academy. Thursday, March 27th, GDP growth rate quarter over quarter. That is going to be Thursday. And then March 28th, you got core PCE price index month over month, personal income month over month, personal spending month over month. That's all going to go on Friday. So that'll be probably a little bit more of a, no, your GDP growth rate is going to be your biggie. But you could expect some volatility on the backside there too. Now, that being said, all right, we're looking good right now, okay? Everything's trending in the right direction, price action wise. GDP growth rate is expected to be pretty low. So just understand what you're walking into, all right? Just so you know, Thursday could get a little weird for price action. Enjoy what we got going on now, but keep this on your radar, please. Keep GDP growth rate on your radar. All right, that could have an effect on the market. There is no doubt about it. All right, so there you go. All right, this one I have a question for you. Okay, so I'm actually genuinely curious what you guys think about this because Michael Saylor strategy now owns 2.4% of the entire Bitcoin supply. All right, so I think they purchased another $548 million worth of Bitcoin. They are just buying this at a cyclic rate. He's just buying. That is all he cares about. Doesn't matter where the price action is. They're just buying. But what do you think about a single entity owning this much Bitcoin? Do you think that's a bad thing or a good thing? We'll put it one good, two bad. Now understand why I asked this question, because there could be good aspects of it when I say it. All right. I know that it becomes, in essence, a little bit more controlled, a little bit more centralized by one entity owning it. But at the same time, he's taking it off the market. He's actually making the asset a little bit more rare, right? Like, so you're reducing the supply, which then increases the demand, which then could actually have price action go up. So if they start selling at any point, then be concerned and it could get weird. But understand that's all OTC as well. But again, that would put some pressure on the market if they were to begin to sell, which is not the case right now. They're continuing to accumulate. So one, good, two, bad. I'd like to see what you guys are feeling about that. I'm kind of mixed. I would say short term, it's probably good. Long term, it could get weird real quick, especially if the business itself begins to collapse for whatever reason. Now, there's no fear of them getting liquidated. We've been through that discussion. That is not really on the table. What they're doing is pretty smart in terms of accumulating. But, the business itself, if it goes under, then they could then have to pay back of some of the loans that they're taking. So that being said, interested to know what you guys think. All right, so this one is, I don't know, we'll say good. It's a good thing California's doing. All right, it's rare we get to say California's doing anything good. But what they've done is they've created a scam tracker tool. So you guys can go on there and, it probably is not going to be as applicable to some of you that are watching here that are my regulars. But for people that are a little older or people that are not as spun up, that are getting, duped by a lot of these schemes that are out there, they're getting schemed out of their money, which is sad. This can actually help them out with being like, hey, like, if I see this, let's go check. Let's go let's go see if this has already been reported, if this is something they're talking about, and it could save you. All right, it could save your money, and ultimately that is a good thing. So I wanted to put this out there for awareness. I don't know that it's necessarily going to be California, only, right? Because these scams are usually, you know, being conducted in different areas, different places. Like, it's nationwide. Let's be real about it. They're using the same things over and over again, and it doesn't really matter where you live. So for those that are newer to crypto, maybe a little older, and you guys are getting into investing, maybe check this out. Check this out if you've gotten some weird emails or something along those lines that you're kind of like, I don't know if this is real or not. You may be able to go here and bounce it off of the tracker just to see if it's something. So there you go. Wanted to put that out there. It's all about protecting your money. That is most important. All right. Y'all know what time it is. Go ahead. Sound the siren. Let's get it. So today is a good day in terms of trying to find FUD. There was not a lot of it out there. That's good, right? But the old Kabisi letter always has a little something to make you think. But here you go. Let's go ahead and read this and go through it a little bit. S&P 500 is down 6.5% since its February 19th peak after briefly recording a 10% drawdown in early March. Historically, if stocks subsequently drop another 5% on average within the next 150 days, the U.S. economy was in a recession. All right. So again, now we know that the whole GDP discussion and the definition of what a recession is, that has all changed with the former president. They kind of manipulated things a little bit there, but here nor there. This could be a little bit of a fact check for yourself to kind of be like, okay, this is where we're at with stocks, how does it align? And there you go. But we're only halfway there. So like, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going there or we have to go there. But we are halfway there in terms of their statistics here. So take that in, understand where we could be headed and, what this is implying, I guess, just keep, if you don't trust the data you're getting from the government, maybe you can use this as data to validate what it feels like or what you think is actually going on. So maybe just another metric for you guys to keep in your back pocket so you have an idea of what reality might be. But I know what reality is for me. Everything costs too darn much, and that is the issue. It is, inflation is bananas right now, but we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. All right, let's go over to the heat map. This is where it gets fun. And I'm going to reload this because I started this when the show started. So there you go. Price action moves, baby. This is why we keep this going. So trend right now looks great, right? Price action very calmly, just working its way up and right. Little pullbacks here and there. That's good. That's healthy. It looks great in terms of the price action. What I'm looking at right here is there's not much liquidity to the top side. There's not a lot to write home about. There's not a lot of liquidity to chase here. This is purely, price action and people getting bullish and just coming back into the market. This is not, a hunt for liquidity right now. Here, yes. Like there's something to kind of hang our hats on to be like, hey, like we see this liquidity here and there could be an opportunity to go up and grab that. Now, what you would look for if you were trying to look for a reversal is a couple things, right? You would want to see a swing failure pattern. You would also want to see this wick clear out some liquidity, right? If you knew this was a liquidity grab, then this would be hotter. All right, this wick does not necessarily equate to a liquidity grab, not in my mind at least. If it looked a little more like this or it looked a little bit more like this, then I would say yes. But this does not necessarily equate to a liquidity grab. However, that being said, there's not much liquidity up here. So that's kind of step one for me. All right, so let's look at that. Understanding there's not a lot of liquidity up here. Where is the liquidity on the map? 83.5. We will update that on the charts. All right, so let's go here to Bitcoin. And let's look at Bitcoin. Now we said 83.5 is where we're at right now. So what I'm going to do is adjust this. So what I like doing is keeping that marked on my chart. And we said 83.5. There we go. Good enough for government work. Sweet. So we have the liquidity on our charts. And now what we're looking at is where are we at in reference to some pretty key levels on the chart. So you have the dynamic reactor. All right, that's ChartPrime. You know, it's amazing. It's uncanny how many times this thing acts as support and resistance. Understand that right now on the daily, it's still bearish, right? You see it's purple in color. It is starting to go horizontal though. It's starting to level out, but we're retesting the area. We're retesting it as resistance. You're in a trend already. So you see this channel, this is from the high. And what I really want you to pay attention to is the median. So when you take this to a lower time frame, it becomes even more prominent because this is extended more, this is extended more. But you can see that both the resistance and the support, as well as the median, have all played, you know, very much. They've been key to some of the price action. Okay, so there is a reaction from these levels, which lets me know that it is a little bit more important. So you have the trend line, and then you have this zone. Okay, now this zone really is me just looking at, we had an area of support based on the range that we had when we had the all-time high, right? We got a range. We see multiple areas of support, right? Or multiple hits of support, we'll say. I mean, you can count them, but it's probably around 7 or 8 times that we retested this range itself, whether it be a wick or candle close, anywhere between 89 to about 92K. All right, so it's a pretty big range. Don't get me wrong, but when you put that on your charts, you start to notice that, like, hey, like that's an area that, you know, we might see resistance. The thing that I don't like right now is that so much is lining up in one area, right? Top of that trend, you got dynamic reactor, you got the top of the, I mean, it wicked right off the box itself. Okay, so now we're looking at that and we're like, man, there's a lot of resistance to work through. The good news is, like, when you start getting on some of the smaller time frames, you're starting to get over a lot of the resistance. All right, you've gotten over. Let me look at the moving averages here. I didn't look at those on the daily, at least, but I would imagine we're over it. Yeah, so we are over it. We were flirting with it. You could see it was actually acting as resistance, as well as you had this trend line that was acting as support, right? You're getting a squeeze, and that will lead me to kind of what I dropped on X. Now on X, it was kind of cryptic, right? I was like, hey, we're squeezing. Do we have the opportunity to break? If you go to the trade groups, I was thinking there was going to be a break, all right? Which is what led me to making the post, which is what led me to doing that analysis over the weekend, because I saw an ascending triangle. Right now, it's a very simple chart pattern here, but let's look at it, right? It's always about learning a little bit of something here, not just about, you know, the calls. So what I saw was this price action working its way up and right, retest it, retest it, retest it, and continue to work up and right. So when I actually made the post, it was about right here. And so as I got confirmation that we had another retest of this area, this trend line, I was getting a little more bullish. The other thing that I saw was that if you go to the daily or the 8-hour, I was looking at the oscillator. All right, so the oscillator pro, look at this. I mean, that is just showing you a trend up and right. Very, very bullish looking, right? Strength with the move is what we were seeing. And understand, we will cut it, what, rate? We'll have to go probably to the 8-hour, just because I don't want to artificially, there you go. So that was really what you were kind of seeing, was right there. Okay, so again, looking at the trend, it was going up and right, coming into a horizontal level of resistance with an ascending level of support. That let me key in on, I think we might break. So what are you looking for then? It's just a little bit of a retest, right? You break out, you come back down, you retest. Oh, OC retest. You guys know how I roll there. Let's, sorry, you're going to have to click through a couple time frames with me. I'm just getting rid of some of the lines. There we go here. There we go. Let's get rid of that. Now, back to the 4-hour. Cool. So again, you look for a little break, a little retest here. Is it super prominent? I wouldn't say it's super prominent, but, you know, it's here nor there. You did get a break. You did get a retest, and then it took off. Right? That's your entry. That's what you're looking at. If you're playing this pattern, if you're playing that setup, that's what you would be looking for. And then what we had was the quarterly pivot. Now that It's not on my chart right now. I was kind of cleaning things up a little bit, but that was the exit. Okay, so I think it was a little bit closer to about 86 or so, if I remember correctly. But you come back left on the chart too, you see some horizontals as well as, well, not as well, but you see support and resistance in correlation with some horizontals and the quarterly pivot. And then on the 4 hour, you had the 200 working its way down. So there was resistance there. So everything that's happened since then is a bonus. But now, again, we're getting into that area where there's just a lot of confluence here. What I'll say here is be careful. Okay, so I would, for me personally, I am not looking at a long position at this point. Just conservative. Like I would like to see a breakthrough here. My where I was looking was right here. That's why I made those posts. I was anticipating this move to the upside, not as aggressive as it made, right? We're now changing character here. We can start saying that like there's a potential for a bullish move. When you actually look at this pattern itself at the channel, okay, so when you have a descending channel like this is actually a bullish structure, a bullish pattern. Now it looks terrible because you never know, like, is it going to continue to kind of work its way down and follow this channel? At what point is it going to break out? But the likelihood that the breakout happens is, I would say it's more likely to break to the upside vice the downside when you're looking at these descending channels. All right, that's just, we've seen it a couple times. I've showed it to you on a couple other the altcoins. I think Cardano was one of them. We looked at it. I can't remember what else it was. It may have been XRP, but I think it was, I know Cardano for sure. We were tracking one of these setups here and it played out quite nicely. So again, this is kind of the key of the day, right? You're at resistance. Personally not looking at a long position until we start breaking this area here. And, I think, again, if you do break, you're going to be looking at resistance on the top side of this channel here. So this channel goes back to 2021. I know most of you are tracking on that. 94K could be the move, but I'm not super like bullish. We'll say that that's going to happen. I would say I'm more skeptical and I'm a little bit more careful until I see an actual breakout and confirmation that we are going to break out of this channel. Now, if you come out and you see a retest of the channel, things are changing, right? You can see it break out and then you get some bullish structure right in this area here. Then you could be looking for that move up, and that could be a really nice move. Just understand you are fighting against some horizontal levels of resistance with that move. All right, so that is what I'm looking at right now currently with Bitcoin. Again, resistance is kind of the name of the game here, and be very careful with a long position. Now, it depends. Are you in an intraday? Are you in a long position taking a scalp, whatever that case may be? Then do we start taking profits here is a discussion you need to have with yourself, knowing that you're lining up against some resistance. So that is that. All right, let's look over the chat. Let's say what's up to some homies in here. I see a couple of you flowing in a little bit late. Crypto Princess, what's up to you? Good to see you. Andrea, how are you? Good to see you as well. Let's see. Lunar Beaches says, XRP looks like a liquidity grab. All right, we will look at XRP. I am all about that. Scrolling down a little bit more. Let's see the numbers. I didn't actually go back and look at the numbers yet. I think you need to turn your gain up a tad. Okay. I don't know. Is anybody else having that issue? Let me know. I can definitely jack up the gain a little bit here. Looking at, let's see. Let me see. Lunar. It is, I mean, it's in the right spot. So turn up your volume. There you go. All right. Unless I'm cutting in and out. Let me know if I'm cutting in and out. Let's see. Scrolling down here, I see 2s. I see 1.5. You're in between. Any 1s? Nobody really says 1 here. All right. Cool. Moving down. Well, let's look at XRP. Let's look at XRP since you talked about that one. I'm going to try to short right now. It looks to be liquidity downside. Okay. Alexander G says I'm good. Sweet. Yeah, dude. Totally there's liquidity to the downside. There is no doubt about that. But you know what? Since you're looking at a short, let's look at some smaller time frames. Let's look at the 12-hour. Yeah, so you got some liquidity building up down there, and it's not far away from price action. You just got to be careful. And the reason I say be careful is because usually when I'm looking to grab liquidity, sorry about that. Usually when I'm looking to grab liquidity is when the trend or the price action begins to work its way down towards that. So what you would really like to see, and this is not like going against your short or anything of that nature. I'm just saying, like, when I'm taking liquidity into the equation, what I'm doing is I'm looking for price action to be coming from the top side, right? So it looks a little bit different. Like, we could be in the same place, right? We could be at 88.1, 88,000, but I would like to see the price action coming from top left down into current range. And then I'm like, hey, this is definitely in trouble. This liquidity is probably going to get grabbed. So, but yeah, man, I mean, the bulk of the liquidity is probably to the downside. Let's look at the daily. We'll kind of just scroll through the different time frames here. There you go. Yeah, I mean, there's, again, more liquidity to the downside, and that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. But let's go out to the bigger time frames. And this is where it could change the tune a little bit. It could. I haven't looked at it today. So look at that. So when you go to the 3-month, where is the bulk of the liquidity? Right? So this is where it changes it up on you. It's actually at 99.5. So this is when we start talking about your bigger swing trades. Now, one of the things that I look at on the bigger swing trade, or really on most of the time frames, is it like dark, right? Like, you go to this bigger time frame and you're looking, it's like, oh, it's dark. Like, there's nothing left here. Liquidity has been taken for the most part. And remember, there was a lot of liquidity as it worked its way down. Now, this looks different as the price action continues to the right. There was, trust me, there was hot spots as the price action worked its way down. But you're looking here, you know, kind of the more current time frames, and you're seeing there just wasn't much left for them to grab. There was nothing much for them to chase, and that's a lot of times when you'll see the reversals on the larger time frames, is when they run out of liquidity to chase. So yes, on the shorter time frames, there's liquidity there, but when you go to the larger time frames, you'll see that bulk of liquidity is sitting here, and you're talking billions, at least over $1 billion worth of liquidity, because these are all different lines in the sand, right? So we go from 471, 458, 406. If you do the math, it's over $1 billion of liquidity sitting in that area. So you better believe they want to get that. So let's go to the last time frame. We'll go to the 6-month because there is one more that should pop. I think that's around 64K. Waiting to load. Here we go. All right, so there you go. So now you see this becomes cooler, and there's actually a hotter spot down at 64.8. So that aligned with some areas we were looking at previously, if price action continued to work its way down. But you can also now see, too, as we're zooming out, is like you take all-time high. Look, I mean, it's very prominent. It's just lower highs right now. We haven't broken that structure yet. And that is why I say be careful, is we haven't broke that structure yet. Now, if we break that structure, like if this changes, then, you know, I'll feel a little bit more bullish. So yes, like you're essentially, I don't know if front running is going to be the right word here by taking a short, but you're not waiting for the confirmation. You're just taking it based on the structure you see. And that's fine. You can definitely get more profits that way. Just be careful. Be careful, and, you know, set yourself up. No reason, or, you know, you can put a stop loss above that area too. So if that's the way you're attacking, it makes a lot of sense. All right, let's go to, you don't want that. Let's go to XRP. Since that was talked about. New author Hayes claims Bitcoin hits 110 before it retests 76.5. I mean, I try to stay kind of away from the price prediction game. That being said, 110 before 76.5. Man, we're like right in the middle. Actually, no, I'd say we're a little closer to 76. That's tough. It's definitely feasible. I mean, the liquidity that was here, one of my main drivers for why I thought this was going to happen or play out is gone, right? They've moved it. They've moved their areas. They've either added to the position, they've taken away the stop losses. It's all down here. They've basically, you know, built a buffer for themselves, knowing it that this was in play, that this was about to get hit because it was at about 73K. That, you know, that made a lot of sense, but they've basically built a buffer for themselves now. So could you know, I'm going to stay away from that. I'll say the trend right now is showing you something different. The trend right now is showing you that we're working our way down and right. So we shall see. We shall see. There's some big data coming up this week too, that I think is going to shake the market a little bit. And that's, I'm going to stay away from that one. I'm going to stay away. I'll just say the trend is your friend till the end. Right now, it tells me downside bias, even though we are starting to break some key levels. So that is where I'll leave that at. If we start breaking this area, then, you know, that I can change my tune. And that's the benefit of doing TA, right? Like once you start losing key levels and breaking structure that has formed, then, you know, then you have to switch, and that you cannot ride your position all the way, you know, down. You got to move. You got to be flexible as price action changes, as things change. Like you have to be able to shift with that. So that is kind of why we look at this TA every day. All right, let's go to XRP and liquidity grab on XRP. Let's see here. I know the bulk of liquidity was down here. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. I think I can pull XRP on here. Let me check. XRP. There we go. Let's look at that on the 3-day. If you guys didn't know, yeah, you can look at some of these other assets on the heat map. So there you go on the 3-day. Look, so that's a little different than what you were seeing for Bitcoin. There was liquidity up here, but the thing is, dude, like it's, yes, maybe a liquidity grab, but it's following Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, the trend is going up and right. Same wick, same time for both assets. Came back down. So is it a liquidity grab for XRP, or is it just following daddy? I don't know. I don't know. But yes, this would look like, if I was looking at Bitcoin, then I would probably say it's a liquidity grab based on that wick, reestablish the range. So I can very much see what you're talking about there. It makes a lot of sense for you to have that assumption. All right, let's update the fixturing volume profile here. Let's extend that out. We're still in the range. There you go. So now check this out. One of the things that I've been talking about with XRP is that its chart looks different. Now, this was kind of my buy zone for XRP. You guys know that. That has since moved. But looking at this, it was in a channel, right? So it's same channel. Descending, down and right channel. But what is it doing that Bitcoin's not doing? This is exactly what I say. Hey, look for the breakout retest. I love seeing this. I love seeing this because you can now see exactly what I'm talking about. You can see like this channel, when I drew it, wasn't even extended out yet. Let's go ahead and extend it out. And you see exactly what I'm talking about now. A breakout retest. All right, so XRP's done it. Broke out, came back down, retest, continuation, up and right. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So that's good to see. I love seeing that. And again, that is a reason that I'm a little bit more bullish on XRP than a lot of these other assets. It's just doing more bullish things. Again, it stood in its range. It kept its range. It did not fall out of it the entire time we've had this pullback for the greater market. XRP has just been trucking along. I mean, I'm not going to say straight horizontal, but again, it's still in the range. At this point, you could argue consolidation, right, on a larger time frame. So that is why, again, I do like XRP right now. You are over the point of control of the range, which is a good thing. You've had that breakout retest, staying over the point of control. If Bitcoin does not have a large pullback from current levels, if it consolidates where it's at, then there's a good opportunity that XRP starts going back up to the value area high and front running that would put you probably at about $2.65. You got a horizontal there at about $2.64. So, I mean, yeah, it's looking good right now for XRP. There's nothing that's going to shake me on XRP. Again, bullish pattern, breakout retest. It looks good. It does look good. And I'm going to maintain my stance that right now I am bullish on XRP in the short term. So value area high, very realistic, horizontal. So $2.64 makes a lot of sense for XRP. Now, the thing you got to watch again, because I think that the price action is more so following Bitcoin here as of late, not the whole range. Obviously, it stood tall here. Buyers held it up, but this price action here on the shorter time frames is following Bitcoin. So understand that the possibility for a pullback on Bitcoin leads to a little bit of downside for XRP. So keep Bitcoin in your scan. And again, look for a couple things. Is it going to pull back? Is it going to consolidate? Or if it breaks out? If it breaks out, we know where we're going for XRP. If it consolidates, that still opens up the door for Bitcoin or for XRP to potentially make its way up slowly but surely up to about $2.64. If we get a pullback, we come back, we retest this range, or we retest this trend line right here, which would make a lot of sense. Unfortunately, that would quickly pull you under some resistance, which would make the game a little bit harder for XRP. So yeah, keep your eyes on this, man. Again, I maintain that XRP is looking pretty good when you're looking at the charts. All right, let's look here in the chat. Let's see what y'all got here. Last one standing. What's up to you, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Not short-term bullish. Okay, okay. I mean, yeah, it really depends on we're at a line in the sand for Bitcoin. I don't, like it's hard to take away. Like this is a good feeling right now because if you're seeing we're now changing the structure, right? We are now saying, hey, this is looking like a reversal. So it's just a matter of you have a lot of resistance over top of you and you have to break that. Unfortunately, there's a gap between where we're at and where we get confirmation. A true confirmation is substantially higher than where we're at, right? So that's the unfortunate thing, because what we really have to do, in my mind, is we have to flip this area here. We got to flip this area because this was prominent support. And really, I think the top side of this box is really the area that I'm really keen on. Really closer to about 91 to 92 is really the area I'm keying on hard. But understand that when we're talking about looking at, resistance and shorts and all of that nature, this is it's an area. It's a cumulative area that we're looking at. But I think flipping this is really what will give us that confirmation of like, okay, cool. Like we can now start looking for, that continuation upside. And I've told you guys the entire time we've had this pullback, the structure has not been broken. Everybody was going bearish and crying and doing all kinds of nonsense. And I just didn't understand why, because if you look at it, this is a normal, healthy pullback. Like we get in a range, pullback, off to the races. Get in a range, pullback, off to the races. Get in a range, pullback. What are we going to do? So what are we going to do now? Are we off to the races again? I'm not going to sit here and predict that, yeah, we're off to the races again, but I'm also going to tell you that the structure as of right now is fine. It's totally fine. And you've done nothing more than set a higher low. That's all you've done. The pullback, similar. When you measure this out, very similar from high to low. I think it was really 34%. That was 33. I don't think I was exactly on the high. It was 34%. All right. And it doesn't even look the same. If you look at this one, this looks more aggressive. You look at this and you're like, this one's uglier than this one. But it's really not, because let's measure it. High to low is 30%. So let that sink in for a second. This pullback was actually more than this pullback. This just happened a little quicker. All right, you rushed into the high. There's euphoria behind this move. Sentiment is a little different here, I believe. So you got that second bump up, and then it was a little bit more aggressive with the pullback, but really 30%. Like, so, like that's why I was leaning towards, like, once we got down to those areas, I think we got front run a little bit. Once we got down to this area, you know, I thought 72,000 made a lot of sense. And that would have been the 34% or 35%. Like, so it would have been almost the same pullback to the 618. What did we do? We pulled back here, right in vicinity of the 618, pull back 618. It's just too much lining up, right? You try to look for patterns and things that look alike sometimes when you're doing TA, you know, because that can help you get ahead. But we've gotten the bounce before that. We got a bounce a little earlier, and really it was this little teeny tiny range. You can barely even see it on the map on the daily. Right here. That right there was where we found support. The funny thing is, you want to see something funny? I point this out to you guys before. I don't know if you remember. Right here. Now, if you come down to where we found support, the previous range, look. The little teeny tiny range again. Not a lot of people were talking about that. Piper made a really good play on this one. But I don't know that anybody really made the play on this one. And it did almost the same thing. So that's something for you guys to look at, man. If we see something like this again, you know, that could be opportunity. Could be opportunity. All right, cool. See what you guys got going on in the chat. Go to full screen. Boom. All right. Scrolling down here. What is the new CME gap? I'll have to look at that. Let me see. Oh, man. I'm glad this isn't up. Let me delete this. That's funny. Chart art. I have fun with things sometimes. Try to keep it PG around here as best I can. Let me delete that. Sorry, you guys got to bear with me. Let's give you some music in the meantime, so you can't see my funny chart art. Let's do that. Here we go. Catch some music. Let me know if that's coming through okay for you. All right, here you go. It's clean. It's clean. It's all good now. So this gap was filled on the daily. This gap was filled. I mean, I guess there's a little gap here, but that's nothing like, that's nothing crazy. Yeah, bro, that's not much to write home about, honestly. There's a teeny tiny gap between 84 and 85, like 84, like that's, I don't even know if that's really worth your time. Like, this is a gap. That's a gap. You know what I'm saying? Nice little gap there. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, so I mean, somewhere around 85, 84. But it's nothing too crazy, nothing too prominent. I guess we can look at the 8 hour just to see if you get a little bit more. Yeah. Right there, man. Nothing crazy. But yeah, people will they'll probably talk about that gap. That price has to come back down here, fill the gap at what, 84.4? We can mark it with a horizontal. Let's mark it. Let's see. We'll put an alert on it. And then let's add another one here. Matter of fact, let's shift this one up. It's actually, I'm gonna shift this one up so you get the alert at the top side of the gap. But yeah, again, I think the bigger driving factors right now is there's just a lot of confluence that's kind of adding to the resistance. So there you go. Audio is good. Cool. Let's see what we got here, man. You guys are chopping it up in the chat. TradeFly, what time or number would make you think the cycle is broken? Andrea loves the cycle. I think you've asked me a cycle question before. That's tough. I mean, really, if we have already hit our high, right? This is just kind of me thinking through it. if we've already hit the high for the cycle and we don't break the high that we just set, the all-time high, the cycle has changed. But what made the cycle change? There's macroeconomic factors that we have to think about. Like what happened last time that we experienced a recession? We had a bear market. You know, what happens if we experience a recession again in the middle of the cycle? It's going to pull back. So this is why we talk about different macroeconomics, what's going on in the economy. That's the reason that we talk about these things, because they all have a say-so in what actually happens, right? So really, I mean, I would say in my mind, right, what drove us to where we were, I would say it was the ETF news. It was BlackRock, it was institutional investment, everybody jumping in, you know, kind of at the same time, drove the price up very quickly. We got a pro-crypto president. I mean, there's just a lot of bullish narratives that are going along with the crypto market right now. So, you know what I would have to really do is go back and kind of measure out the moves to be like, okay, so the cycle this time, measured move, let's see what it does. Then the next cycle, measured move, let's see what it does. And then where do we end up this time? So I'd have to really go back and do some analysis to truly answer your question. But I would say, like, if we don't set another high, given that this should be a period of, it should be an uptrend, right? That we can agree on, that would then make me question, you know, is the cycle potentially broken? Is it going to be different from here on out, knowing that we have, the game has changed. The game is not the same anymore, right? Like, not only are we've already made it in terms of adoption, right? That's not a question anymore. That's here, and we're getting regulation. You know, the game has already changed. But I would say, for me, just for a very zoomed out 10,000 look perspective, I would say if we don't set another high, then I would have to really evaluate the cycle to see if it has actually changed, if that makes sense. But I would have to really do analysis. I'm not a huge like 4-year cycle guy in terms of like, that's what I pattern all my stuff around. It is like a base metric for me to be like, hey, we know that we should have an uptrend theoretically during this time frame, but I also understand that the world, the economy, that all has a say so in whether we're going up or down in price action, right? Because I am, when it comes down to it, an investor. I'm not like a big Bitcoin maxi. I mean, I'm an investor. I'm trying to find different patterns and rhythms and things that kind of align to make money in this game. So again, it's only a baseline metric for me on whether I'm, you know, looking at long positions or short positions, and swing positions more so than anything else when it ties in the cycle. All right, cool. Let's see what else we got in here. I have a pattern drawn out on MEXC, very similar to yours, but using the weekly. If it doesn't break out this weekly, we have formed a bear flag and its downside. Right on. So what time frame are you on? I have a pattern drawn on MEXC, very similar to yours. And let's see, we're obviously talking Bitcoin, and you're talking bear flag. Let me just see if I can find it real quick. Let's go on the daily. I think I see what you're talking about, and I'm only making an assumption that you're saying from here to here, and then this is your flag. Just making a guess. Unless, yeah. Yep, okay, cool. So let's actually do a fib retracement off of that too. So let's go high to low, and look at that. So that's close. That's close. What if you do the second high here? You can make it work any way you want, right? This is what I love sometimes with TA. Like, all right, cool. That high didn't really put you in the middle of those. But if you went to this one, that puts you right in the golden pocket as well. But I would say setting a lower low, I mean, realistically, this is the right one to use. It really is. So, I mean, that would add to confluence in terms of saying, hey, if you're coming back to the 0.786, pretty close to, wasn't perfect, but again, it would just add to the narrative that you got a lot to work through in terms of resistance here. A lot. And there's some people that take trades off of the 0.786. It's a very common level on the fib retracement that people would take trades off of. I think Alex O does that quite a bit. Looks for that 0.786. So there you go, man. That kind of, you know, adds to the narrative. It's going to be tough sledding. So that's why I say be very, very careful here with taking a long position. Let it show you something different, right? Let it prove you wrong. Like that's kind of the approach I'm going to take here. Like, prove me wrong. And if you prove me wrong, then I can be like, hey, you know what? We broke out. Now we're looking for a retest, and we could see continuation of the upside. But prove me wrong first, you know. And that's kind of what I'll wait for, is price action to show me something different than what I'm seeing. So in the meantime, cautious. All right, I think we got time for one more chart to look at here. So let's let's revisit the, oh gosh, a daily degen is not looking too good. That was a degen play. Looking at that, yeah, that's tough. I mean, there's opportunity here. Just looking at, like, if I was looking at this alone, then I would say there could be an opportunity for a little bit of a bounce. It's trying, but looking at Bitcoin, which is currently, I think, pulling back, that could get weird there for the daily degen, but that's all good. I think I put what was my margin on this, just so you guys know how much it really doesn't matter to me. 49 cents. All right, so understand, it's fine. It doesn't, 50 cents, it's all good. Oh, Gucci just messes up my numbers when people are like, well, let me see your P&L. Well, you guys don't know about the daily degen, do you? It gets weird. All right, so cool. I'll take a little dose of hopium. There you go. There you go. Let's see. Anything you guys want me to look at? Drop something in the chat. I got time for one more. Scrolling. See what we got here. Look at AVAX. Let's go. I'm not gonna do TA on it. I'm just excited because I bought down here. Let's go. I'm excited about that. And we're reestablishing the range. This is what I love to see. This is what I love to see. See that nice candle back into this range. If we maintain this range, man, looking good for AVAX. That's good. Cool. Personal level. Arweave. Got it. Let's look. Arweave. I don't even know if I have any TA on Arweave. So we'll be doing this one together. Might run over time a little bit just because I don't think I have anything on Arweave. Let's see. Here are you. Let's do OKX. OKX is a pretty good exchange. USD, USDT. Let's use USDT. Oof. This one's tough. So look at the difference between, this is the daily. All right, so you look at Arweave. I can actually move this up a little bit. Let me get up to where AVAX is. ARU, cool. So you have Arweave, look at AVAX. They're both on the daily. So there's little things I'll look at. Look at how you're hitting resistance. Hitting your head on resistance over and over again. See those wicks showing you selling pressure still. It's moving averages are up. Cool. Let's zoom out a little bit. stuff. This chart looks kind of tough. Yeah, so you can see right here, going back to this previous range, right? You can see where it consolidated here for quite some time. That's kind of, it looks like your area you're working against, but you're close, really close to trying to get back into that range. But goodness gracious, this is not looked great. So we're going back to June. Really, May 24 was the high for the range. Eesh. Yeah, that's tough. It's just been downhill sledding. I mean, look at the split between the 200-day and the price action right now. I don't know a lot about Arweave. I'm gonna be real with you. But let's find you some horizontals here. Like, doing a fixed range volume profile on this is silly because it's not staying in a range. It's just trending down and right. And let's put that on there. Let's find you a trend. All right, so that trend is down and right, obviously. So what I'm doing right now is just trying to find different horizontal levels where I see price action, consistent price action, which is really tough. This thing just, it'll trend down and then it just exploded to the top side. So it looks like once it got listed on OKX, it ain't been nothing but it dumped, flatlined. So this is kind of similar to what I was saying with, somebody had me looking at something last week. And what I pointed out was the consolidation periods before a move up. You might find yourself in that again. So a lot of times when cryptos like kind of bottom out and they find their bottom, you'll see these periods of consolidation. And we haven't really, it hasn't shown us that, not yet. Right? It's still consistently working its way down and right. This one is, this one's tough, Andrea. Sorry. I really don't know what to say here, because like if you're looking for, say, like a reversal, like it's not really, we're not getting anything to work off of right now. There's no clear bottom, not yet. And matter of fact, I mean, you're getting stuff that like looks ugly too, right? So like working its way down, nice, calm, and chill, and then it just like. Trying to find you any bit of hopium I can. I mean, the only thing that you're really is if you actually come down to the low. But that's still, that's another 50% from here. So there's a chance right here where it's at, just based on coming back left and looking for some points of where we found support and resistance, but I wouldn't hang my hat on that at all. Let's look at the, let's see what anything support. So there you go. So that's showing you an area of support in correlation with kind of where I was looking at as well. I mean, it's pretty close. The volume's not really there. I mean, there's some volume, but I think people have kind of gotten beaten into submission. Let's see what the actual volume looks like. The problem with this is like, it's understanding or trying to figure out if people, because volume incorporates both buying and selling, right? So is understanding, are people mostly selling, or are people starting to come back in to this once we've kind of gotten down here? I wish I could get rid of that. What is that? Are we to launch PI token on March 14th? So it's still doing things. That's good. Let me see. There we go. Just trying to get the volume to grow. Yeah, volume is continuing to kind of, so you had a little move up, right? I think this is more selling pressure while it was moving up, and now it's moving back down. You can see volume kind of arching over. See the median of it starting to arch over and start to work its way down. So let's look at, you know, when has it done that? Arch, start to work its way down. Price action came down. Arch, work its way down. Price action came down. So it's following that trend. Yeah, that's, I don't know. I'd be really careful. And then you can see your high volume zones in terms of price action as well. What I would look for here is kind of the same as I was talking about with another one of the tokens, is a change of character. Right? So yeah, are you missing out on some potential gains or percentages and all that? Like, yep, got it. Tracking. But at least it gives you some confidence that you could see some momentum to the upside. So what does that look like? Let's get rid of the support and resistance levels here. Is right now, just looking through this, I mean, it's trying to on a shorter time frame now. Like if it were to break, let's actually give you a straight horizontal here. Just trend line's good enough. Right? If it breaks out, retest, and then look for that move up. But of course, you got things that are working its way down. Dynamic reactors coming down, 200s coming down, all your resistances to the top side. And then you have like these like intermediate horizontals to work with. So like, where do I feel more comfortable about Arweave is really going to be if I break that area there. But that's far away. I don't even know if I would take those wicks into consideration. Just looking at the bulk of the price action here. So yeah, somewhere around like 9.8 to 10 bucks. And then you had, on top of it all, you run into a psychological area at about $10. So when people buy into here and they take positions and they get to that psychological area of 10, it's a likely area that you'll see some resistance just based on, I'm going to sell at $10. If Arweave goes at $10, I'm going to sell at $10. You know what I'm saying? So like, think about that. Take that into consideration as well. But I personally would not mess with Arweave right now, personally. And yeah, you could be right. Or I don't even know if you're looking at a long position or you're already in. But let me see what you're talking about here in the chat real quick. How about ADA? I'll look at ADA. I got nothing better to do. I want my 7 to 9 AVAX, damn it. Bro, I'm stoked about AVAX right now. Let's see. Bag is looking sad. Yeah. Arweave is like Filecoin. What else we got here? Yeah, so it sounds like you're in it for utility, and that's a different kind of investment, to be honest with you. Price action doesn't look great, but if you believe in it, if you thinking like, let's say this is an investment for you, this isn't so much of a trade. This is like, hey, I believe in this project, I believe in what it's doing, then you just continue your DCA, right? Like you continue the process of something you believe in. I'll just say that the price action, just from a trading perspective, from a chart perspective, doesn't look great, but you know, that's always the time when these things are 60-70% down, like, and you believe that it's going to continue, then like you don't stop your process either of DCA. I don't know about this project from a fundamental perspective. Like I haven't looked at it like Crux does the deep dives, right? He's really good at that. Like I just don't know much about it. I look at it from a price action perspective, not something I'd be interested from that perspective. But again, if it's got utility and you think that it's going to do something later on, then hey man, like don't miss the opportunity to lower your cost basis if you have purchased Arweave somewhere higher. So I'll say that. Let's go on to Cardano. We'll look at that real quick. Steve, I don't have much else going on, so we'll take a look-see. ADA, let's go. So different story, right? Different story. Sorry about all that stuff again. Back testing, haven't cleaned it up yet because it actually takes a lot of time to like hide or delete line after line after line. So what are we on? Let's go to a 4-hour. We talked about this just recently. Had a buy zone down here, came back down and retested it again. Unbelievable. So just needed to extend that out. But yeah, that area, like I said, around 69 cents was a buy zone for Cardano. So that move has happened now twice. We've seen it come down into the area. Actually, really, I mean, it retested a couple times, but ultimately right here is where it bounced. Let's extend this point of control here because that is still in the range. I just gotta find the other dot. Where's my other dot? There it is. Got it. So here we go. So now the point of control has shifted a little bit as price action is continued. Value area high has been respected. So value area high currently sitting at 74 cents. You also have the dynamic reactor on the 4-hour acting as resistance. You can see that already got a hit, rejected off of that quite harshly. And then you have some horizontals. You got the 200 on the 4-hour as well, all kind of working its way down. So again, like, you know, I'll say there's some confluence lining up, but like the move was from here, your value area low, right? What do we do too? If I remember correctly, the value area low and the value area, yeah. So that's what I did. I took the value area high of the previous range, value area low of the current range. And at one point, I think they were lining up, if I remember correctly. Earlier on, while it was in the range, this value area low was actually overlaid with the value area high. So here nor there. Move is kind of played out in terms of what I was looking for personally. That's not a huge move, but you know, 3.72% with a little bit of leverage. You guys know I do like to use a little bit of leverage when my trades. Is a nice move. So not too bad there. Not too bad there. So let's look at a continuation, right? Even though it's not necessarily what I would put my bias, but we do have a couple lines in the sand here. You got about 75 cents, which is really close to price action now. Horizontal 200 days working its way down, and then you go to some previous days or previous range stuff. So value area low as well as a horizontal extends out to about 76 cents. But just getting out of this range itself is going to be bullish for Cardano. If we reestablish the range, the previous range here, 76 cents, if we reestablish that, then we start looking at that upside and we start talking about the, you know, it's not a naked point of control because that's already been tapped, but you do start looking at that as a potential area about 79 to 80 cents as a nice little target area for Cardano, but we need to reestablish this area here. So again, it's not going to be big moves, right? If you're looking at, this is more intraday scalping type stuff. I'd say this would probably be more of an intraday type trade, but a 4% move is quite nice. 4% move I would not be mad about that at all, but we do need to reestablish the range. As of right now, we haven't shown that, you know, we're going to break out of this one, right? We still got a couple areas of resistance to work through. That's where we're at right now with Cardano, and you can see that it is acting as resistance currently with selling pressure coming in. All you gotta do is look at the wicks here on a 4-hour. You can see it is showing you that there's some selling pressure, all right? But really, yeah, that's really what I'm gonna say there, is look for it to break out of this area here, and when we get that confirmation, then we can start looking at bigger and better things. But a move from 76 cents to about 80 cents makes a lot of sense for me if we get out of the range. So there you go, that is that. Cool. All right, I see some emojis flowing. Let's go. I have not looked at SWI yet, but why not? I can do that. What else we got here? I love this. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. I mean, that's crypto, man. It's crypto, bro. Of course. But what we do... Oh my gosh, did I not show you guys the charts? My gosh. My bad. My bad. I'm bad at that sometimes, sorry. All right, so here's the Cardano chart, and let's keep that quick. But here's the areas I'm talking about, right? So 76 cents. here's the range, right? We're in that right now. Here's the buy zone I was talking about. We've bounced off of that a couple times. And this is the top side of the range, all right? So we have, you know, from about 75 cents to 76 cents is an area of resistance in my mind. Here's your 200, here's a dynamic reactor. That's where all the resistance is. So that's what I'm saying. If you break this area right here is where you can see a nice little move up. So again, I would probably look for a little bit, you know, the OC retest, but that would probably be what I would be looking for. And then let's go ahead and just make this here. So we'd be looking for something right here. Okay, about 79, 80 cents there. About 80 cents. We'll call it. Nice round number. So that's what I was talking about when I say a nice little move up would make a lot of sense there. But that's essentially reestablishing this previous range. So now you can see it. I didn't just talk about it. You can actually put some pictures to it. So, all right. Charts. Sorry about that. My baby. Let's go to Sui. Or Sui. So hey. That's what I'm gonna call it for now. Just so hey. I'll say what I want. Because everybody debates on what it's supposed to be called. Sway. Alright, here you go. So, it's funny. Look at this. Well, I remember talking about this. I think we talked about it, I don't know, maybe last week. And what does a lot of my trading revolve around? Liquidity. Liquidity. So, I'm going to take this box out now. Because what I was saying is liquidity is to the top side. How did I know that? Based on price action. We were forming a horizontal level of resistance. We also had a trend line working its way up. So let me think here. I believe when we talked about it, I'm guessing it was before this move played out. I'm guessing. Because that box was covering the price action. So the other thing I was looking at was this trend line, where I thought there could be resistance. But look at this, when it went freaking horizontal. Horizontal, right? So it broke out of the trend line, like the ascending area of support, broke out of that, and then went straight horizontal. Like somebody was holding this up. Right? We didn't get a real breakdown off of that price action. So we've broken out, we've grabbed the liquidity, trend line, and then I was looking for a breakout retest. So here we are. Here we are at time now. Gotten our breakout. Do we get a retest? Got an area of resistance right here. You got the dynamic reactor working its way down. You can already see it's acting as resistance. Do we now come down, retest this area, and work for continuation to the upside? So, I mean, Sui looking like it wants to. Like, this is kind of your line in the sand, right? You see this? Doesn't really change for me. It's just shifted a little bit. And really, I don't need that trend line because we have a horizontal there already. So let's get rid of that. There we go. Less stuff on the charts, the better. But yeah, I mean, that's $2.36. If it pulls back to there for a retest and you get bullish candle structure off of $2.36, we're looking for upside. But the move I was looking for kind of already played out, to be real with you. That move up to there was about 5%. Now we're breaking out. So now we're already at a level, like, you know, it'd be hard to say, like, take a position, because we're at resistance right now. You got both a horizontal as well as dynamic reactor working its way down. The good thing about it, the thing that I like, is we have broken the trend line. All right, so this was keeping us kind of down. Now we're starting to see structure that's showing us bullish momentum. This is phenomenal to see this consolidation and with that move up. So it's looking good, honestly. It's looking good. I would say the next step here is just seeing that retest of this zone. And if Bitcoin can turn its butt around or continue, And SWI's looking good. Structure looks good. And then what do we run into? Your first stop's probably going to be the 200 on the 4 hour. That'll probably work its way down, probably level out. And then let's see if we can find some horizontals to kind of add some influence to that area. So that was based off of there. You got a nice wick in this area here. That's tough. There's a huge gap there. This could be a big move. The more I look at this. Only like, I mean, again, Bitcoin has to play nice. Bitcoin really has to play nice. Like, and when I say that, it's not, it doesn't just have to move up. It just needs to consolidate. Because you don't have a lot of volume here. I mean, like, we built some as it worked its way down, but look at this gap. Look at this. Like, this is just buyers coming in, and it went. Sorry, I'm just like really looking at this one. I mean, you got little levels of like horizontals here as it works down, but like I think if you break the 200, Bitcoin plays nice. You're going $3. I think a 16% move is in the cards if Bitcoin plays nice. So you got to break the 200. That's sitting somewhere. It's going to be somewhere around $2.60 ish. Right? That's still got to work its way down. But you break that. So first things first, you look for the retest of this area at $2.36. Break through the dynamic reactor, break through the 200, and then I would have a hard time giving you reasons not to go visit $3 or around there. I mean, understand these lines are not lines like firm lines, right? There's going to be a little range, right? Just based on looking at the price action, $2.90, you can see where there's support and resistance at times right here. So there's going to be a little bit of a range. If you front run it, that's on you. Still a nice 10% move. But that's what I would be looking for. The potential is there. You got to hold $2.36 in my mind. If you lose $2.36, then you may start to consolidate again. And who knows what happens if you do that. Hopium for SWI at least. There you go. SWI. Wah. There you go. Alex O, what's up, my dude? My dude, how you doing? Look at it, SWI. See what Alex O thinks about this. So one of the things I'm looking at here, bro, is a breakout retest of this area at $2.36. But I'm thinking if it breaks the 200, I'm thinking there could be a nice move. Like I come back left on the chart. Look at this gap, this volume. There's just not much there. And you can see where it wanted to act as support around $3, that psychological area. I'm thinking if Bitcoin plays nice, whether it moves up or consolidates, I think there's an opportunity to see a move up to $3. Just on a break of the 200 on the 4 hour. Psychological area too. $12. Oh my God, dude. I wasn't going that aggressive, bro. I wasn't going that aggressive. But yeah, I think a nice 15% move to $3, nice psychological area, I think makes a lot of sense if we break the 200 on 4 hour specifically. Let me see where the 200 is on the daily. Oh, dude. I know it's like, I look at it and you're like, well, you're under the 200. That's actually where we're at in correlation to the 200 actually makes it better. And the reason I say that is, yes, it could be resistance, but it's so far up, it's above $3. The dynamic reactor is above $3. There is confluence adding to this area that I actually makes me feel even better about saying we could see that move up there, because it's above my target area. Word. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it is a little early. It's not crypto nightcap, bro. You're throwing out the your witching hour a little bit early for you. That's all right, bro. $3, man. I'm looking at that. I think that could be a thing. Cool. All right, sweet. I ran this a little bit long. All good. All good. Do it for the people, right? Why not? So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Alex O, thanks for being here, brother. Hope everyone enjoyed the stream today. Hope you got a little something from it. Go ahead, smash a like, smash a subscribe if you're not already. I would appreciate it. Hope everyone has a phenomenal day. I will see you again tomorrow, probably at about the same time. Depends on how long I sleep. I got to work nights tonight, so my streams might kind of bounce around time frame wise, but I will stream tomorrow. I promise you that. And with that, you guys have a great day. Trade safe, be safe, and I'm out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range, cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They're deceived with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.